What's going on, everyone? Today is September 28th of 2023, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about this big blockbuster trade in the NBA that went down yesterday between three teams: the Milwaukee Bucks, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Phoenix Suns, whom the Bucks defeated back in the 2021 finals. If you happen to be new to this channel, we talk about the language of numerology with a strong emphasis on Gematria, which is the simple practice that observes the numerical values of the letters in our English alphabet. This most basic ordinal method is, as always, a strong point of focus. This cipher branches off into the base 4 methods, where the alphabet can either be reversed or reduced in a cipher also known as Pythagorean. And as always, we'll be peeking at the extended methods of Gematria. These ciphers, structured most similarly to ancient Hebrew and Greek Gematria and isopsephy, with this Latin or Agrippa's key method, certainly the most significant, as I explain in each of the videos, and we'll see examples of this again as we go along. So today, we're going to talk about how there is a significant sun and moon riddle with this surprise trade, as very few people had Damian Lillard, one of the best shooters of all time, tabbed to go to the Milwaukee Bucks, creating somewhat of a super team with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, on this channel, we also talk about synchronicity and how this language of numerology, dates on the calendar, gematria, shows us that there's a deeper interconnectedness to reality than anyone has really previously suggested. And this will be a focus of this video as well. Now, this trade was announced on yesterday's date, September 27th of 2023. And on this channel, we talk about September 27th on a semi-regular basis, as this is the anniversary of the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuit Order, officially recognized by the Catholic Church back in 1540 on September 27th. Now, certainly in this trade, everyone seems to agree that all three teams made a good move, but you have to think the Bucks made out best, as they now have Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard on the team. Now, in the city of Milwaukee, it's home to Marquette University, which is one of 27 Jesuit universities in the United States. And this points to a strong point of synchronicity. So here we're looking at a map of downtown Milwaukee. We got Marquette over here on the left. And less than a mile to the east, there's a very popular park called Cathedral Square Park. Now, I live in Milwaukee, so I'm pretty familiar with the area. But I want you to think about this, right? The Jesuit Order is a Catholic organization. And over here we have this Cathedral Square Park. Well, on the same date as this trade, September 27th, there was a shooting at a very popular restaurant at Cathedral Square. Of course, Milwaukee is no stranger to gun violence. However, this shooting is unlike most of the others that occur. Here we have a popular restaurant, someone firing from the outside inside the restaurant. Police have said it's not random, but this is a pretty wild event nonetheless. And when you look at the numerology, you tend to find the synchronicity. Now, what's so interesting about this place is that it's called Elsa's on the Park. This is the restaurant's name, Elsa's. Well, back in the 2021 NBA Finals, when the Milwaukee Bucks were playing the Phoenix Suns, again, two of the three teams in this trade, this was in mid-July of 2021. And something else that was happening in mid-July of 2021 is that Hurricane Elsa was traversing the Caribbean. And notice how it dissipated during the NBA Finals. And now we get a shooting at Elsa's on the same day as this trade involving the two teams. Down below, I have a post on Hurricane Elsa from 2021 linked. You'll notice that Hurricane Elsa has matching gematria with Elsa of Arendelle, which is the name of the character from Disney's Frozen. Frozen and Frozen 2 are two of the top 25 highest-grossing films of all time. And just as I compared this hurricane to Elsa from Frozen back in 2021, indeed this riddle rings true today as well. So here's where it gets wild. Once again, this trade happened on the Jesuit anniversary. And notice how yesterday's date, 9 plus 27 plus 20 plus 23, gives us a sum of 79. Well, 79 is the gematria of Bucks and Society of Jesus using the reverse methods of gematria. Here we see Bucks 79 reverse, Society of Jesus 79 reverse reduction. Now we get this shooting at a place called Elsa's, and check out how Elsa's has the same gematria. 56, just like Bucks and Society of Jesus, and then 79 in reverse. Furthermore, Elsa's on the Park also equals 56 and 79. In fact, if we crack open the Latin cipher, we also see another 56, a very unusual alignment for both reduction and Latin to have a similar value. But what about these ordinal methods? Elsa's on the Park has gematria of 164 and 214 using the ordinal methods of gematria. Damian Lillard was traded to Milwaukee from Portland, Oregon. And notice how Oregon is currently 164 years old, having been admitted to the Union on February 14th, or 214. These, the same numbers in the gematria of the restaurant that this occurred at. Elsa's on the Park. So why is this particularly significant? The numerology of the state of Oregon. Well, Oregon was the 33rd state admitted to the Union, and this brings us to the next massive part of this riddle. Notice how Oregon, when abbreviated, its two-digit state code, OR, sums to 33 in the alphabetic order. The word trade has gematria of 33 using the reverse reduction method, and this trade was completed on September 27th. In the standard alphabetic order, the date September 27th sums to 303. Notice how both Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard were each 33 years old at the time of this trade. Here we see Drew Holiday, 33 years old. Damian Lillard, 33 years old. Now, if you measure from their birthdays, July 15th to June 12th, you find these two players were even born 33 days apart from one another. And not only was Oregon the 33rd state, but when you write out Milwaukee Bucks in ordinal, you get this value of 156, which matches 33 in that same method. We're also going to mention how this even connects to the most recent Bucks-Blazers game. Back on February 6th of this past season, the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't know why this isn't coming up. And notice how this game was played on a special date. It was February 6th, as you can see, February 6th of 2023. The Portland Trail Blazers organization was founded on the date February 6th of 1970. So this game was played on the Trailblazers' anniversary. And the trade was 33 weeks after that game. Now, later on in this video, we're going to explain how this is all connected to the eclipse code, as the word eclipse equals 33. Measuring from Drew Holiday's trade to the Bucks to his trade to the Trailblazers, you get 1,037 days, a lot like the Gematria of Portland, Oregon. And 137 is the 33rd prime number. Next up, I want to talk about this massive sun and moon riddle that connects all of this. Something else worth noting is that not only does Society of Jesus have matching 56 gematria with total eclipse, the Jesuit emblem, much like an eclipsed sun, Bucks equals 56, and they traded Drew Holiday, whose name is 56, to Portland, Oregon, 56, for Damian Lillard, whose name is another 56. So, a heavy connection to the sun and moon, as we will explore. Using the alphabetic order, Milwaukee, Wisconsin has gematria of 225. 225 is the Latin value of the astronomer named Meton. Meton of Athens is the namesake of the 19-year Metonic Cycle, which is a period of 235 lunations that syncs up almost perfectly with the solar calendar. 19 years, 235 lunations, almost the exact same timing. Now, Meton, of course, from Athens, so this makes him a Greek astronomer. When you look at the city of Milwaukee, you find the city has several nicknames, but one of them is the German Athens of America. Now, Milwaukee has a heavy German population. I'm a quarter German, at least. And as such, you get this nickname of Athens. And this, of course, points us to Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose nickname is the Greek Freak, born in Athens. So as you can see, there's a strong Metonic Cycle riddle with the city of Milwaukee. And to prove this even further, if you measure from the date that the Milwaukee Bucks were founded, which was back on January 22nd of 1968, to the date of this trade, you find that the Bucks just turned 668 months old. In Latin gematria, the phrase Metonic Cycle sums to 668. And to prove that there's something more relevant to this, consider how one of the other players that the Bucks traded away is named Grayson Allen. And the name Grayson, or the word gray, points to the moon. Consider how the word gray has gematria of 51, 57, and 21. Well, the word moon also sums to 51, 57, and 21. And of course, gray is the color of the moon. Well, the name Grayson also has this 668 gematria value. And check out Grayson Allen's age on the date of this trade. 10,216 days. Well, the moon is virtually exactly 2,160 miles across at its equator. And of course, he's going to the suns. The sun, the moon, the Metonic Cycle being the cycle that brings it all together. Damian Lillard went to college at Weber State. Weber State has matching 1108 gematria with Metonic Cycle. Now, in the alphabetic order, Metonic Cycle sums to 127. Damian Lillard's full name, using the S exception of gematria, also sums to 127. And on the date of this trade, he was 12,127 days old. The Trailblazers received Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday, he was born on a date with primary numerology of 127. The last time the Bucks played the Blazers on Portland's anniversary, the Bucks won the game with 127 points. And notice how the Trailblazers scored 108 points in that game. Well, if you add 127 to 108, you get a sum of 235. This brings us back once again to the Metonic Cycle, which is a period of 235 lunar phases. This is another number connected to the new Bucks head coach, Adrian Griffin, who will be replacing Mike Budenholzer. The name Adrian Griffin sums to 235 reverse. The Metonic Cycle is 19 years long, and in reduction gematria, 19 has these values of 41 and 40. Now this stands out because Milwaukee's primary area code is 414. Furthermore, Milwaukee, Wisconsin sums to 1900 using triangular numbers, and this number is found in Damian Lillard's common and full names. Both Damian Lillard and Damian Lamont Ali Lillard Sr. both have gematria of 1009. Now, the number 19 is significant to the sun as the 19th card of the major arcana in the tarot is the sun. Drew Holiday's full name has matching 190 gematria with solar eclipse. The number 19, when you write it out, equals 86. Now, this is actually very significant because if you take 67 and add it to 19, 67, the 19th prime number, you get a sum of 86. So this is certainly no mistake. It's embedded into the language. The 86th prime number, meanwhile, is 443. 443 is the gematria of the sun. So another perfect example of how this knowledge is even coded into the tarot. Now, when you look at Giannis Antetokounmpo's birthday, you find he was born exactly 4 years, 4 months, and 3 weeks after Damian Lillard, who will be his new teammate for the Bucks. Something else that also stands out about the number 19 when you spell it out is that you get this Latin value of 244. And remember, the astronomer, Meton, is from Athens. And Athens equals 244. Drew Holiday was traded exactly 2 years and 44 weeks after he got to Milwaukee. And another reason this stands out is because the other major NBA player who was a part of this deal was DeAndre Ayton. And when you take DeAndre Ayton's full name, you get a values of 109 reduction and 244 ordinal. So this connection cemented with this other player, and of course he comes from the Suns. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, both Meton and Athens sum to 67 in ordinal. And again, this is the 19th prime number, the 19-year Metonic Cycle. Lillard's alma mater of Weber State has matching 62 gematria with Trailblazers. Now he's been traded to Wisconsin, which also equals 62, just like Metonic Cycle. The name Damian Lillard sums to the 62nd prime number with capital letters, 293. He was traded 293 days before his birthday. And notice how he was born 2,930 days before DeAndre Ayton, who will be helping to fill his missing role in Portland. Another awesome fact about the Metonic Cycle is that this 19-year period, 7 of them will have a 13th lunar phase. So not only does Metonic Cycle equal 197, but so does 19 years. 13th month equals 197. The number 13 with capital letters, also 197. And this even connects back to the Portland Trailblazers, who were founded in the year 1970. So you have that 197 right there in the digits. So we talked about this 668. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier. This big Metonic cycle, right, connected to Grayson. Well, how strange is it that we get this shooting at Cathedral Square? Cathedral Square sums to 668. Also, the 153 connects to Jesuit order. 153 reverse. One of the other major players who's on the thumbnail for this video, his name also has this 153 Gematria. 144 and 72 like Jesuit order. So you see these other players in the trade, they kind of are fillers for the rest of the relevant numbers to the whole ritual. If you measure from the release of the film Frozen back in 2013 to the date of this trade and the shooting at Elsa's in Cathedral Square, notice how you get 9 years and 10 months exactly. And once again, the first Frozen film, released on the 27th, just like the date of this trade. So here we find it's 9 years and 10 months exactly. Well, notice how both Milwaukee and Wisconsin have Gematria of 910 in standard. The standard method I showed you earlier uses the 26-letter alphabet in its current form. The reverse standard method simply flips the alphabet backwards but has the same numerical structure. So what are the odds that you get Milwaukee and Wisconsin both 910? 9 years and 10 months later. But what's also fascinating about this is that 9 years and 10 months is 118 months. Damian Lillard's full name, as well as DeAndre Ayton's full name, both sum to 118. Milwaukee equals 1180 in Latin. Wisconsin equals 1180 in reverse. Damian Lillard went to Weber State, which sums to 118. Remember this number, part of the Metonic Cycle code. Death and homicide, both also 118. Fortunately, no one was killed in this incident, however. The shooting was also 1,405 days after the second Frozen film, the sequel back in 2019. And that number stood out because the actress who voices Elsa in the series, her full name has Gematria of 145. Her birthday, 530 or 30/5, connects to both Milwaukee and Bucks. And what's so strange is that, we have this synchronicity with a shooting in the city. And if I made this video a few years ago, I would have told you that this was all fake, this was all a conspiracy, a false flag. I don't know that for a fact. But something that made me question that narrative even more is that when I woke up this morning, and I went straight to my computer because I wanted to decode this shooting at Elsa's, there were a bunch of sirens outside my house, and I thought there was a police chase, so I flipped on the police scanner. And right after I flipped on the scanner, I heard the police confront a guy with a knife, and then shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. And they ended up killing this guy, and I listened to the police scanner live as this was happening. And it's really the wildest thing I heard live since I moved here. And this was like a mile away from my house, not even. So again, is this all staged by the cabal? Perhaps the trades to some degree are, and then maybe as a result, we get this blossoming synchronicity. I don't know the full truth, but that's why I make these videos, is that so we can get more eyes on this type of thing and get closer to it. How nice would it be if somebody within the police was also doing Gematria and informing us and, able to prove more about what we're looking at. There's a lot more interesting things about this trade. Notice how Drew Randall Holiday was traded 107 days after his birthday, matching his Gematria. If you include the end date, this is also 108 days, and Damian Lillard's full name equals 108, just like Milwaukee, Wisconsin. DeAndre Ayton's full name, also 108. 108 was the number of points the Blazers scored in the last Bucks-Blazers game back in February. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard was traded 74 days after his birthday. This is the ordinal Gematria of both Holiday and Oregon, which will be Drew's new home. What also stood out about this is that the number 74 is connected to the new Bucks coach, Adrian Griffin, who was born on 7/4 of 74. Damian Lillard's full name has matching ordinal Gematria with Portland Trail Blazers, the team he played 11 seasons with. His birth date was the 15th of July, or 15/7, which now connects to his new team, the Bucks. But what makes this so interesting is that the number 157 is a prime number, the 37th prime. Drew Holiday was born on a date with a life lesson number of 37. And now Damian's new teammate, Giannis, sums to 37. This was all on the anniversary of the Jesuits, which equals 37. And Holiday was traded exactly 37 weeks before his next birthday. In reduction, both Milwaukee and Portland sum to 37. Milwaukee also has matching 53 Gematria with Trailblazers, 100 and 143 also shared. When the Bucks last played the Blazers in February, it was on Portland's 53rd anniversary. Like Trailblazers and Milwaukee, 53. The name Damian Lillard even sums to the 53rd prime number, 241. Finally, I want to take a look at how this is all connected to the eclipse code, as we are currently in a period between the two great American total solar eclipses, which stamp an X over the United States. The trade was 37 days after the anniversary of the first eclipse, which connects to this big 37 we were talking about. But what I want to talk about is how this connects to the book of Revelation. Now, in the Bible, from what I can find anyway, there's only one verse in the entire book that mentions both a solar and lunar eclipse, and that's Revelation 6:12. This is something that's very significant to Drew Holiday, as Drew Holiday was born on June 12th, a date that you can write as 6/12. He won an NBA title with Giannis, who was born on December 6th, which is written internationally as 6/12. This trade was completed 6 months and 12 days before the second Great American Total Solar Eclipse. Now, these birth dates can also be written as 12/6. And notice how both Milwaukee and Portland, even Portland Trailblazers, all sum to 126. And then the player Portland acquired from the Suns, DeAndre Ayton, sums to 126 reduction. So a lot of numbers, but truly, as we always see, the riddles always connect through the sun and the moon, solar eclipses, lunar cycles, all highly significant to the number-obsessed a cult that runs our major sports organizations. All right, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be going live with a super stream within the next day or two, so stay tuned for that. But until then, peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.